Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Happy No Fear podcast. On this week's episode, we have a very interesting artist. And if you've ever been to LA or specifically Venice, then you've seen her work all over the place for many, many years. She's super cool, super talented, and also came up the hard way, which is through graffiti. You know, that's the proper way, at least in my generation. And she was also sort of mentored by a graffiti legend, namely Lady Pink. I like when I say namely, you know, you never get to say that. What a guy. So yeah, without further ado, I give to you Jules Muck. Jules Muck in the building.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up, man? For me, this is a treat. You know, somehow, and we'll get into it later. But like Venice is everything to you, at least starting at a certain point in your life, and for me too.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's big.
I know you're all over Venice.
No, you're all over Venice.
We're both all over. We got it online. Where there's like that other cat, Never too.
Never,
it's
yeah.
like basically the three of us.
I just spoke about him to the guy. What's his name? Dominic, the guy that runs the graffiti walls there on the beach.
Yeah.
The kid that just came over from New York, I think.
Yeah,
He's
is he running it now?
He's running it, but he said it's so exciting, man. Like the guy is falling in love with painting so much. He said,
How do you get to run those walls? Because I'll
have
tell
no
you
idea.
something. I have the number 001 legal pass permit to paint the Venice art walls.
Whenever you want.
From the last time they ever
when
had
it was
those.
Stash running it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last day I walked away with the pass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'll just hold on to this.
I guess the way it goes now is the weekends you're supposed to get a pass. The weekdays you can just paint, or
But
the
you
other way
can
around.
just paint. I thought, because back in the day, it was like you can't paint there on the weekdays.
Without the permit, right?
But you know what? Like, I don't think anyone is stopping anybody. I see
I don't
people
think so
painting there
either.
mostly on the weekends, though.
Yeah. I saw
Yeah.
cats because I just did a thing there for the last couple of days. And as soon as one piece was dry, the guy got his flick. He's walking off. I still see him on the boardwalk, lamping around. There's already a guy crossing him and doing his
Yeah.
just like the paint's still wet. And
I
they're going at it. The
know.
layers on that shit, man, is crazy.
You ever met that girl who does Venice? I think it's Venice Beach rocks. She makes jewelry out of the chunks of paint.
Yeah.
She gave me
I
a
follow her on
piece, too.
Instagram. She gave me a piece also, yeah. What's it? Shouts to something. Venice Stones, or what is it? Venice...
Venice Beach rocks?
Right.
I forget.
It's the layers of that wall.
So
and she
cool.
turns into jewelry, and nicely done. So you see like the cross section of like 1,000 pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And she
like
shaves it down
files
and it's nice.
They look like stones, but
Yeah.
just really funky. They're cool.
Yeah, super dope. Yeah, that spot, like, I used to skate there every day before they covered it up with sand. It was like a famous skate spot back in the 90s and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, did you happen to go to that exhibit downtown where they replicated it?
I didn't go to, but I saw it online. The pavilion,
They did the pavilion.
Exactly.
I mean, that was before I
Beyond
got
the
to
street.
Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond the streets.
Yeah.
That was when I was there. We would skate Santa Monica beach gaps every day, and like kind of like until 1, 2, and then we'd finish the day, skate down the bike path to the pavilion, and just skate the blocks there. You know, but it was sketchy after a while.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's still
lot
kind of
of
weird down
syringes.
there at night. That's like the real essence. It's still Venice down
Yeah,
at the zombie run, I call it.
It's definitely a genre. It gets
That's
crazy
a
out
great
there.
name.
Yeah.
Zombie Room.
But if you're in LA, from LA, spend some time in LA, like Venice, if it's not close to your heart, maybe I don't like you. You know what I mean? You know
That's
what I'm
close,
saying?
but I'm still leaving at nightfall.
Yeah.
when the dark hits.
It gets a little sketchy, yeah. But yeah, we eventually used to like, it got really sketchy, and I understand the decision they made to cover it up with all the sand. I guess it's still underneath the sand.
Yeah, they could unearth it
Yeah, something.
at
yeah.
any point.
Because it was syringes, it was bum fights, it was all that shit.
Yeah, I bet.
We'd slam when we didn't land the trick into bum piss and like
Ooh.
puke and shite and syringes and shit. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, there's still some shit down there. Like on the beach, I
Yeah.
run the beach and I'm like, every now and then there's needles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I can imagine they wouldn't be able to control an underground space.
Yeah.
Yeah, they barely got that boardwalk and they're doing sweeps all the time.
Yeah.
Every week there's a sweep. and everybody's getting pushed and cleaned, and they got guys in hazmat suits down there.
Yeah. Because there was some kind of outbreak, tuberculosis outbreak or something.
I don't know.
There was something
I'm
happened.
not surprised.
They're
Yeah.
seeing a lot of hazmat suits on the west side, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the homeless are like over in Mar Vista now.
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks weird.
It's
Well, they move around. There's like a relocation situation because they'll be in a row somewhere, and then they'll go. Someone told me that they were busing people in from downtown.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
from Skid Row and shit.
That's what I heard. But there's all these rumors of people trying to like, get everyone riled up, and then everybody has got like an agenda. Like they want to start a situation over here. Or we're gonna start a storage. Like I don't know about storing that stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that stuff is maybe a mental health issue. Like the things that come with being like, how many things do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just sort of like, you got nothing, then you finally hook up a cart, then you finally hook up like a
Three
pillow,
more carts.
3 more carts and a caravan of carts.
And you have some bar stools and some stuff. Like why?
Yeah,
Why do you?
Yeah.
I was homeless
tough,
actually
man.
out here in 2004. I traveled through California and I slept, but I was like really against LA. Being from New York, I was like, well, that shit is plastic. I'm not going to LA. But I did stop in Santa Monica because I did not know that was the same shit. Like, no doubt I stopped in Santa Monica and I did my little hustle on the street there, getting some cash. And
You were painting on the street?
yeah. It's funny. I was painting on pieces of cardboard for the time that I would get them from the back of the dumpsters behind the framing shops. When they cut out the mat boards, they would have stacks.
The insides.
Cardboard. Yeah, and I would get them and I would paint like a palm tree or some shit, and just like sell them to get money for whatever I needed. But like $3, $5. But I would always be like, one day this is going to put your kid through college,
Yeah.
That was my spiel.
I remember saying that too, to like back in those days, because no one even knew about this shit,
Yeah.
And I'm like, just believe in me. I'm gonna keep working to be adding value to the thing you just bought for like whatever it was, $40, $10, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think about that sometimes, like maybe it's worth a little something.
I wonder who still has them. I always think about that. Or if they walk by a wall and they're like, I know that shit.
Yeah. So that's how you got here. You hopped in a car from New York? And
a few different times. There was times like when I hitched here. There was times when I
cross country, the full hitch.
Different situations because I took a while to get here. There was a time when I was staying the first time I ever came to Cali, I was actually staying in Tempe, Arizona, and I just ended up on some crazy mission one night that I landed in California, and that was my first experience. And then I just always tried to come here. I freaking messed it up so many times.
Like you couldn't actually get here?
I could not get here, or I get here, I could not get it together. I was on the street. The worst experience I had was on the street in San Francisco and getting like cement legs from sleeping outside. And
what's cement legs?
When your legs, if you sleep on damp, cold, hard surfaces, your legs can turn to what feels like cement.
No shit.
And you like can't get up.
Like stiffened out or
they
something?
They stiffen. Yeah. It's really freaky. I had some weird experiences up there. That was like San Diego being homeless was more chill. And I was just kind of floating around a little, like, doing my like escape from New York routine.
Right.
And I could not get it together. I'd meet someone, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to paint this restaurant. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to, and when I first got here this time, what I consider this time, because it's the time that it stuck, like everything went to shit. Like, I mean, the girl that I was supposed to move in with. When I got here, 2007, I think
that's when you popped up heavy. I'm like, who is this in Venice with the green faces everywhere?
I was like, everything went to crap. The place I was supposed to stay, the girl decided to have this dude stay instead. And I was like, what are you doing to me? The same time, my phone got roaming charges, which I didn't know about, took all my money to pay the phone.
$800, $1,000.
Yeah. I couldn't get an apartment, sleeping in the car. And then, man, it was just like Electric Avenue.
Yeah.
I ran out of gas on Electric Avenue. No shit. And I just chilled
There's
there.
a parallel street to now the most expensive street in America, Abercrombie. Unbelievable. Not back then.
I know.
I mean, it was beginning maybe.
Yeah, it was like, it was cool enough that I could survive. That's for sure. Yeah. Like there was enough chill people. And I remember thinking it was fun.
Yeah. No, Venice it's still fun. It's different now, obviously. Yeah. But back then, it was what people said it was, you know, or what I heard people say. But yeah, that kind of matches up. You know, so as an artist, as a creative, as a wild child, you know, you can do some shit.
See,
there.
I was like, I had no idea about Venice or what to expect. I hadn't seen the movies or books or whatever.
Right.
So I was just like, this place is pretty cool.
Right.
You know, like what? Like it was just fun that for me, the thing about Venice is that everything goes. Anything goes. You can wear anything you want. You can do anything you want. If you want to pile garbage on your head and walk around, you're cool. Yeah. It's fine. You could wear nothing. You could wear everything. You could say whatever.
Total acceptance.
Total. And I've never felt that anywhere in the world. Never felt that comfortable and accepted. And that's been a thing for me, like that I've sought. So as soon as I got the taste of that, I was fine with living in the car because I don't give a fuck. Like it was comfortable.
How long did you live in the car for?
It was a few months. It wasn't a long time. Maybe the most, but I'll tell you the whole time.
Still a long time.
People were like, come stay on my couch, come stay in my studio, come crash here. You know, so I was like, the only time I was really sleeping in the car was when I happened to be busy late at night and didn't connect with anybody. Right. And then I was like, whatever.
But it was a stress you could handle, and you knew there was some good reception already. So you're like, yeah, I landed here well.
I remember bragging about it. I'd be like, all I do is paint all day and drink designer coffee. I have no problem. Like, this is not a problem. You know, like it was cool. And for some reason, I decided to do these massive canvases, like the one you saw at Darla's. Like I painted that on the corner of Electric in California right there. No shit. Yeah, wow. I painted that, and I used to steal electricity from Abbott's Habit. I would like go in right before they closed and plug in Christmas lights in the bathroom and throw them out the window. So I had an extension cord.
Yeah, I remember that little bathroom by the parking lot.
That bathroom was bomb.
I looked at that wall. I did a whole mock-up. And I think I pitched it to them back then, and I remember dealing with that. There's a little small little window there, so I remember what you're talking about.
That's the window, So I would just throw my lights out that way, and that was how I had electricity. Wow. I would paint all night right there.
Beautiful, man.
It was cool. And then they gave me an art show.
Nice.
And this girl Emily who worked there, she hooked it up, and I got this show, and it was crazy. I think because I had been on the street, like just hanging out there. And because I talked to everybody, because I had nowhere to go, everybody knew about me, and everybody brought the right people. And I made $6,000.
Yeah,
at just a freaking like coffee shop.
At a coffee shop. Yeah, for people who don't know Abbott's Habit, like it's not there anymore. I was there today. It's like a matcha place, and out of respect, I go and let's get one. And I had to sweeten the fuck out of that matcha. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, because for me also Abbott's Habit. At the time, like the first wall I got in Venice, and I knew the story because I read it, you know, your Abbott's Habit art show, and then painting out there in the parking lot, all that sort of stuff. And the thing we share in common is that my first wall I got on Abbott in Venice, I posted at the time. It was like, remember when you used to tear off a number at the bottom of like a notice that you would see on bulletin boards or electricity poles, right? So I wanted to paint this "Remember Who You Are" child looking at you saying "Remember Who You Are" next to it. This is back in the late 90s.
Oh, I remember that mural though. Yeah, it's still there, right? The Remember Who You Are?
Not the original one.
Oh, okay.
But I did too many of them over the years. But now I walked away from it in a way. So I'm like, how am I going to get a wall in fucking Venice? I'm skating here every day. What can I do? And so we used to crash parties at UCLA because we were underage. And I always saw like, you know, there's these pieces of paper with like some message of they're selling something or whatever. And then at the bottom, or roommate wanted, and at the bottom you could rip off a phone number. Then you'd call the phone number, and then, you know, you can see the apartment and maybe rent a room, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I made that with an illustration of what I wanted to paint. And then it said, if you have a wall that wants to have a voice, nice and hippie before that was cool. You know, page me here. And, you know, the whole little breakdown of what the mission was. 8 minutes after I posted it on the bulletin board at Abbott's Habit, Ellie Nessus pages me, man.
Wow, that's a trip.
Yeah. And that's how I got Pacific and Brooks, which I still have to this day.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's so cool. Yeah. I got some shit through Ellie Nessus too. He's cool. Yeah.
I like Ali. A lot of people don't like him, but I like him.
I never rented from him. But
Yeah,
I like
I
him
heard as a
person.
tenant, it's, like he manages most of
He's
like the West
hardcore.
Side,
Yeah.
right? And
I
he's
heard
very
he's pretty
quick speaking.
strict, yeah.
But if you fuck up on rent late, whatever, he's got no compassion.
Ruthless.
This guy.
Yeah.
Ruthless guy.
And he's still around.
He's still around.
So that's
His
how you
office
do
is in
it.
Westchester now by the airport.
Yeah.
So I love to see that because you are the queen of Venice. Let's be honest about it.
Oh,
and
thanks,
for a while,
man.
I was the king of Venice. You know?
You still got a lot up there. I saw you.
It's
You
less and less.
repaired the pizza one, huh? I saw they hit that.
I got to repair it, you know.
I thought you did. It looks repaired.
Really?
No?
Which pizza one?
There was a pizza one that had a so-and-so throwy on it.
Oh, yeah? No, someone buffed it, I think. That's
I guess someone
was
else
just
took care of
over
it.
the weekend, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. Good
Good.
spots.
Glad. I
Yeah.
think this is my feeling about that. People in the community need to take care of their art.
Right.
We can't be running around the world fixing their art.
It's patrolling these murals. It takes up a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah. I can't. I love when people do that. It warms my heart so much.
Right.
And I know people that do that. And it's happened to me where
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, they fixed that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how did they even fix that?
Yeah. And they mix the paint, and I guess Spark is doing a lot of it. Shouts to Judy Baca.
Yeah.
They have a program, but you're saying because it never really, I don't maybe happened once to me where like people did it themselves, but you're saying they've done
It's
it
been
with your
happening to
walls?
me, not so much in Venice because I'm here. I mean, some of the kids I know will fix the bunnies for me and
Right.
stuff, which is cool. But in other cities now, like, it's weird. Like, I'll get a picture because people always love to send pictures of your shit messed up. They're like, look, you got messed up. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the country. Thanks.
Can't do nothing about it.
And then later I'm like, and it's back. And I'm like, wait, it's back.
Yeah.
All right. And then like some of my stuff is pretty like, it's what I consider to be difficult to do.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, well, this is somebody who actually has skills who went
Yeah.
out there and fixed the mural. And I don't know anything about it.
Right.
And
That's
that's
love.
rad.
That
That's
feels
rad.
good.
Feels
Because it
rad.
does suck. Like around LA, because we live here. Yeah, we got to go patrol the walls and then clean up a little tag or something like that. You got to do it.
You
'cause-
got to do it, or that's like their testing.
Yeah.
That's like their litmus test. They're like,
Yeah.
let me see if this rides.
Yeah.
And then,
Because
like,
a
the next-
little marker tag turns into a little fan cap tag, turns into a little throwy, turns into, and before you know it, it's fucking destroyed.
blasted.
Some kid
Yeah.
named Chewy.
Or whatever, yeah. And all kinds, all kinds. So you got to step in
You
quick.
can't even read most of these. They're
Yeah.
just the most sloppy, scared. First of all, why are you scared? You're painting a legal wall. Why are you running?
Right.
Why are you doing a mist fill with your stock tip frantically? You're on a legal wall, you pussy.
Yeah.
That's like the bottom line.
Jules Muck is in the building. Setting them straight.
Total disrespect.
No, but it's like, and let's talk about that too, because I didn't really fully know until I did some reading and I heard some stories that you got your start in graffiti in New York.
Yeah.
Right.
Where graffiti started. Yeah,
exactly.
for sure. You
I mean,
know?
that debate is open, whether it's
With Philly,
yeah.
and I love that book. The best book I think is Espo's book about that, the
Right.
art of getting over.
I guess
And,
cornbread or something. There's some argument, but I mean, who really ran with it? Who made it? Yeah,
dude.
that's New York.
Dude, you
Come on.
got to see this bag I have because I'm so proud of it. I have it signed, my purse, which I don't even use anymore. One side tagged up by cornbread, the
No
other
shit.
side by tacky.
No shit.
How
Tacky
sick.
147.
Yeah,
Wow.
183. Yeah,
183,
yeah.
Which was his house number.
Yeah, so
Unbelievable. A little clue.
Dimitraki.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So wait, where are you? Where were you born actually?
I was born in England.
In England.
Yeah, my mother's British, my dad's Greece.
I
Greek.
see it then.
So I actually started painting in Greece
No
one of the times.
shit.
I was tagging like as a little, and was getting in some trouble with other stuff, like just being a pain in the butt. And so he sent me to Greece,
Yeah.
and that was where I really got going.
No shit.
So yeah,
What city in Greece?
I was not in a city.
Not in a city.
I was in Lesbos Island.
Lesbos. Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful island.
It's
That sounds
gorgeous.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh
They
yeah,
call
it is what you
the-
think
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
The doorway to Europe too.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
9,000 refugees on that island. Right
Wow.
now.
Yeah, because of the Syria and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. But when I was there was a lot of other stuff going on. There was like,
And this is when you're like a teen.
13, 14, 15.
Nice.
And then I came back to New York.
Yeah. So you grew up speaking like Queen's English and Greek.
I lost my British accent.
Do you know
I
I'm
think
engaged? Can you still
pretty
knock it
young.
about?
Yeah,
So,
it
I
comes
mean-
back when I'm over there. It does.
Oh,
yeah.
you're.
I mean,
I love that. And then, and your parents were together, and they just traveled around with you.
well, no, they mostly sent me.
They just got rid of you.
left me in different. They really did.
Put her
Like,
on an island.
People are like, "You got abandoned." Like they thought it was safer. They really thought, like, "Oh, let's get her out of New York,
Yeah.
put her on this nice island." Dude, I'll tell you, I went so hard, I came back in a wheelchair.
No
Like
shit.
I was going hard.
Yeah. Like in what way?
Like just partying, doing graffiti, being crazy, doing dangerous shit, and like, just running around.
Yeah.
I mean, we destroyed the island. First of all, and I found out years later
The
because
island sent you back.
we used to paint
Excommunicated.
everything. The police station, we painted the police
No
station.
shit.
After two, we
Wow.
painted.
Wow.
And we painted on their new football stadium. We destroyed all their shit.
Destroying everything.
And
Fuck
we
'em.
were like, we're worse
Yeah.
than these kids in
Yeah.
Venice right now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I did it, so it's so hard for me to even
Yeah.
say anything negative because
Right.
at the time it was just like, yeah,
Yeah. It's
we're
exciting.
a part of something. I'm
Right.
doing something.
Yeah.
And I learned, very slowly how to not be a toy. And it was just by repeating
Yeah.
that shit over and
finding your
over.
lines. Am I a sharp person,
Yeah.
round person? What's my lines type of
I
shit?
had
Yeah.
some really cool people showing me. Some of them still paint. This guy, Alex Martinez, was on the island at
Oh,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
and
yeah,
he is
yeah.
a really well-known painter now.
Yeah.
And he was on Lesbos too, because
Yeah,
same thing
yeah.
with his
Man,
family.
actually, Alex Martinez, I have history with. He lived in Antwerp for a while.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I was friends with him.
Oh, that's so cool.
At the time. Yeah,
Do you know he came to the Bronx with me?
No shit.
Yeah, and we painted in New York for a while.
Crazy.
Yeah, and
man.
we were in England for a while
If
together.
it's the same, it must be the same Alex Martinez.
Shine Juan
Yeah,
was his
yeah.
first graffiti name at the time when I knew him.
When I knew him, he was tagging Martinez.
yeah,
in
he
Antwerp.
switched
Yeah.
it.
He was
when
an American living in Antwerp for like a year or two or some shit.
Yeah, I think I knew him before that in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's crazy. But no, so later I was already tagging and stuff, but my style was whack.
Yeah.
And he was also one of the people that he had a really good hand style, good like
Right.
piecing
Yeah.
and traditional, very
Right.
hip hop graffiti,
Yeah.
and I was like really a little weird with my stuff, and there was a reason for it, because as a female, especially when I started painting in New York and I started getting more ups, like there was the likelihood of people saying a guy did my shit for me was
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
So I did the most bugged out, weird graffiti I could come
Yeah.
up with, just to be like, yeah, you know who did that.
Yeah,
I did that.
I found some pieces online, and I liked like the legs to the K, and it was like rounded, but it sat there. It wasn't like feeble. It was like fat. Your
Yeah.
letters were fat, and you could make them out, and it was that fat laces style a little bit, But
Thanks,
then in
yeah.
style, yeah, it was dope.
I was
I
influenced
didn't know
by
all that
whatever-
shit up until like
Yeah.
a couple of days ago, and I'm like, let me really take a little look
Well,
here.
I didn't bring any of that to LA. I
Yeah,
really
no, I know.
didn't do much like that. Even if I do, like I'll go with the kids sometimes just to get,
to
get
stay
some
loose
fun,
on it,
to stay loose. But I won't write muck because I feel like the legal repercussions of like,
There's
I've had weird letters.
Statute of limitation,
No, but I
7
mean
years?
now, if I go and I write muck rock
Oh, you can't do it
and
now.
on a billboard,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Nah.
Maybe nothing, but maybe something.
You can do that outside of the US.
Because every now and then I'll get a letter, like I'll
Yeah.
hit the wrong thing, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, they'll just write me like,
Right.
we're going to be at the sheriff's office, and this thing costs this much, and they're just milking me for cash. It's not even legal anymore. It's like now they
Yeah.
just they threaten me with the law to get money.
Right, but you can say, well, that's a fan, that's a copycat.
Yeah,
law.
yeah.
They can't get in the
Yeah.
act or nothing, right?
Right,
Yeah.
you're right. And I have been arrested in the act too, but that was fun. But
And the actor, nothing.
yeah.
There.
I know people that have been, it's been scary though. Like when they have you under the gun, like they threatened one of my friends, he got caught in right after 9/11, and they threatened him with Guantanamo Bay because he was
What?
in a Homeland Security protected area in the tunnels.
What?
And when they caught
Come
him,
on now.
they threatened him with Homeland Security. We're turning you
Jesus.
over. You're trespassing in
Federal
that
law.
a
Oh,
real.
man.
So he signed to some stuff. He copped
he
to
got
his
scared?
tag, and
Ooh,
it was
la, la.
bad.
What happened
but-
to him?
Well, this lawyer, Stacy Richmond,
I don't know.
she's so cool.
Yeah?
She helps a lot of
Yeah?
vandals. She helps a lot of graffiti artists, and she got him off with a obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That's cool. I have that clinically. I went to therapy for that shit. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
there
still
you
doing
go.
I'm doing
I
it right
can
now.
tell, man. I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell.
It makes a good case.
Repetition, yeah. Well, wait till you hear what kind I have. It's even crazier. It's called a somatic obsession, right? So it's either, and in this group, then you sit around in a circle and everyone tells what they have, and everyone's laughing at each other's compulsions and obsessions, right? And mine is somatic. I never really talked about this, but might as well share it in the spirit of being honest. And so one way is like you're hyperly aware of your heartbeat, and to the point where your heart starts beating irregularly. I don't have that one. Then there's another one which is focused on your breathing, right? So when you're personally aware of every breath, right? And there was a comedian in that group. I'm not going to say his name, and he's like, man, when I go on stage, like sometimes I can't even breathe, because I'm personally in charge of every breath. And we're all like, man, you're a freak. And he's like, yeah, but you guys are too. And we're like, yeah. And then we go around. And so mine is with blinking, actually. I have a hyper focus on, like, I personally blink every fucking blink. And that can get super oppressive and super annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, blink,
You
and it's like, I don't want to do it. Can we just go back to automatic? But at one point, like, it just switched. And I'm personally in charge of every one of them to the point where I think that I'm blinking irregularly. And then, the cherry on top of the ice cream is, look what I'm fucking painting over here.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ.
Definitely getting off on that.
Yeah.
That's a great case, man.
But yeah, so, they teach you how to manage it and sit with the discomfort and put yourself in exposures and, certain situations where, like, this for me is not the easiest thing. Because I got to look you in the eye. I got to be engaged. And I can't, like, be staring out into
you blink
space.
all this time.
Yeah, and then sometimes I don't blink enough, I think.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, am I too intense?
I've never counted your blinks.
Yeah, now you're going to start doing it.
Now you're going to
Fuck it, I
start
don't
doing
care.
it.
No. It's like that. That's how I feel. What you just did with eyes wide open, that's how I feel. Like, blink already, you fucker. Let it go. But I can't, Like, even that one I just did, I did personally. And this one too.
What? No.
It's horror, man.
I did it personally.
Yeah, I did it personally. Imagine, you're in control of everything. It's too much.
That's a lot, yeah.
And we still love you no matter how many times you blink, bro.
Thank you, brother.
You could just wear sunglasses.
No, that's what I do in
All
the
the
daytime.
time.
If you notice, if you know me in the daytime, I love fucking sunshine. I couldn't live in Russia because there's no excuse to put sunglasses on. But that's a compulsion. You know what I mean?
All right.
And you're not supposed to do that, but I do it anyway.
Well, supposed to, schmosed to.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably a lot of things. Right.
Yeah. And then, so New York, I found out also, like, you were under the tutelage of another legend, man, Lady Pink.
Dude, she's a killer.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't go to art school, but I went to school.
Jesus Christ, you did.
And she brought in guest teachers, professors
Wow.
of the highest caliber. Like, I got taken to the tunnels by Smith.
Wow.
Freight yards with Cycle. Fuzz
Jesus.
Wan took me to paint in the 7 Yard and the Rockaway Bridge.
Yeah.
All these people, she would send me with these people. Like, Zephyr
Unbelievable.
did my first interview, like
Legends.
crazy. She exposed me to insanity that I would have never, like, so blessed.
Bananas, like,
so
and
blessed.
especially, I mean, she was the darling. Like, everyone wanted to date her,
Yeah.
I mean, she was like the one. Super fly,
So
good style,
cool.
had her own opinion.
Yeah.
She was like, before all the movements that happened today, like, she was a strong woman in the scene.
No, totally.
And when the scene was already getting really fucking strong, and she was there as that leading example,
Yeah,
all of a sudden
16
she's
years
your
old, yeah.
mentor. That's
So
bananas.
cool. Yeah. And she came right up on a rooftop. I was painting a rooftop in the Bronx and I had I knew who she was,
Yeah.
like, from, like, the book, Subway Art. Was actually, like,
Or the film too, yeah.
yeah. I mean, for me, that was the first thing that I saw that made me think, like, this is cool for me to be doing this. Like, when
Right.
I saw her in that book. So when I didn't know who it was though when she first approached me, because she was behind me and I was painting my piece and I just hear, you need to add some orange over there. And I was just like, what?
Yeah, bitch,
like,
what?
what?
That's how friendship starts.
Yeah. And then actually Alex was there and Alex
No
was
shit.
like, that's Lady Pink. And I was
Whoa.
like, oh shit. And I froze and he gave her my phone number.
No shit,
Yeah.
man.
I
Yeah.
was like, huh. Like, it was
Bananas,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Super legend. And then you worked with her for like what, 4 years or something, or 3 years?
Yeah, it
I
was
remember.
well, yeah, it was intense, like working with her for first few years, and then she would end up like doing things like just kicking me gigs she didn't want by the end. But like in the beginning, I was filling in her design, like I was just with her, and
Right. Because you were still like a little bit tagger level, doing
I
some
was
pieces
doing
already.
I was bombing with BTC, and like I was doing some tagging, and I was doing some legal walls and some more elaborate blockbuster illegals with Alex. Like we were doing some cool shit, but like it was definitely graffiti street level.
Right.
And I had never been paid for art until she opened that door.
And show you the way. Like, look, you can earn some money with
Totally
this.
blew my mind because I didn't even think that was a thing.
It wasn't even expected back then.
I'll be honest with you, I was never like a good artist kid. Like
Right.
there was always like the kid that knew how to draw, and then there was me.
Right.
And I wrote things on things. Like I would write curses on stuff as a little kid. That was my thing, you know? And I didn't think that I was a great artist. Like I would draw and stuff, but there was so many people that I felt overshadowed by that it never occurred
Right.
to me to follow that path.
Yeah. It's difficult because when you really, even now, like if I, compare myself to some of the people that I respect, it's like, man, you should be selling used cars or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Just
I know that
let
you
the
can't
pros
look.
handle
You
it, man.
can't
Like,
look.
just step aside. You're clogging the whole thing up. Let them,
Clogging it up.
It's true, huh?
Yeah, and when
But-
you're a little kid with that
Oh,
outlook,
man.
you're just like, okay, I'll just do this other thing.
Yeah,
Like
and I'm sure
something-
today, like with Instagram and being so connected to everyone, it must be like, you're stopped in your tracks. There's no way I'm going to reach these levels, because
Yeah.
there's too much output by all these greats,
Yeah.
But yet there is enough for everyone, There's enough to go around.
Well, even if there's not, this shit is like, like you said, it's a compulsion.
Right,
And like, it just turned out that I didn't have a choice.
right,
And I'm so grateful that people like other people saw the potential to turn it into something else, or I might have just ended up getting worse and worse with the vandalism becomes crime, becomes jail time, becomes
Right.
this other thing,
yeah,
and like she saved me, like because some of the people that I was hanging out with, they went the other route,
right,
and like they ended up doing a lot of time, and other things happened, like but she put me in a different direction,
right.
and she put my compulsion to work for me.
Yeah, and that's a healthy, positive compulsion, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you're creating, like, you also feel good. It's antidepressive,
Dude, it's like I see God. I mean, I'm like, wow, I don't know how to paint. And all of a sudden I'm painting this face and I don't know how.
Yeah.
And so that's crazy.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
It
you're
is
like,
crazy.
what just happened?
Yeah, something out of nothing type of shit. It's
Yeah.
like a little bit of magic attached to it.
Takes your breath away for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, it was like 2006, 2007, and all of a sudden, like, there's all these interesting green faces all around Venice. I'm like, who's this? There's no one painting around. And because there was no one painting around there.
Yeah.
There was no trend yet. It was, some on the walls, and then the tattoo shop had some stuff, but other than that, it was pretty empty.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
took
I'm like,
me,
I like this. I like whoever this is. And then I saw Jules. Like, is that short for Julienne? Is it a dude? But then I heard it's a chick. It's nice. It was dope, man.
Yeah,
was
well,
nice.
I had green with me because that was pretty much all I brought with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that became a signature for many
Yeah.
years, and still to some
Yeah,
extent.
I mean, I revisit it sometimes. 'Cause
That's good. Yeah.
it did get a little boring after
Yeah.
a while.
It's a standard.
Like
It
10
becomes
years.
like a point of recognition, and then people realize that they've seen that somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing about painting industry. Then people feel like, wow, this must be important. I'm missing out
Because
if I
they
don't really know what's
recognize
going
it.
on.
Yeah,
here.
totally.
There's some tricks
I
there.
think people get really happy when they see stuff that they
Yeah.
know. It's the same with music. Like when you use a loop that like someone knows,
Yeah.
like when you take a little piece of something that's like real, like
Yeah.
old school, and everyone just loves it.
Yeah.
Like a good DJ will always throw something like a
Right.
throwback in there. And so totally. I like to do something like that. That's why I have the bunnies that I'll do everywhere. And
Yeah, you got the humping bunnies, which popped up a couple of years ago now, yeah?
yeah, that's been since 2016.
Yeah. I saw them pop up.
It's just been like, now it's been like my throwy, like, because I can
Yeah.
do it real fast.
It is like a throwy, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much, because like I said, I don't really like to do my name too illegally like these
Right.
days, just because, whatever. But I do the
Right.
bunnies,
Right.
you know.
And
And
I saw I think you were in Texas or something, and it's just, for the people listening, in case you don't know, it's just two bunny rabbits and they're fornicating.
And
You know?
smoking.
And smoking at the same time.
Yeah.
So we don't know if it's ended and if it's just like the aftermath
It's
of the
during.
love making, or they're just fucking little freaks.
Yeah.
And I think you were in Texas, I saw, and there was like some uproar. Like there was
That
like
was Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah, they got
Wow.
crazy over there. But I gotta say,
It's nature.
there was an
What's wrong with
uproar
it?
in the media, but the people of Indianapolis they were actually super cool.
There's always
Like
the
they
people
were
are cool, yeah.
fighting for the bunnies.
No shit.
Yeah. And they were appalled that some other people didn't want the bunnies. And they were so like, but the whole thing about Indianapolis, and I haven't had this experience with all cities, but Indianapolis was cool to me about it.
Yeah.
Like they were not mean, they weren't nasty, they didn't attack me.
Yeah.
They did have a problem with the bunnies, like,
Yeah.
and then there was a big uproar about you need to remove the bunnies. And
Yeah.
I think the restaurant owner took the heat for that one because he started defending the bunnies, even though he didn't know that I was going to paint the bunnies. He loved them.
Right.
He loved them to the point that when they erased them, he got them tattooed on his neck.
No
Wow.
shit.
So
on his
like,
neck.
yeah, the Beholder restaurant, Jonathan is the chef, and
Wow.
he went to bat for the bunnies, like
No shit.
hardcore. And he didn't even know. Like I remember when I was painting them, I was like, this good dude's gonna show up and he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And he saw it and he was like, oh my God, I love it. Like and they all loved it. They're really,
But
really
it's
cool.
weird because the argument is always, well, but the children.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, it's nature, man.
Yeah. I
know?
saw the funniest post the other day. Someone had it on their gram and they had the bunnies and they were like, my children love these. Another day driving to school talking about the Heimlich maneuver. So it's like, yeah, tell your kids whatever.
Yeah.
It's nothing graphic,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
See,
it's actually there's nothing graphic.
kind of stuff
They
that
could be leaning on each other for all we know.
Yeah.
It's just adults get so shameful about
Yes.
sexual things.
Well, they don't want to have that talk.
Right, exactly.
They're like, oh, I can't do that right now. I'm not ready. I don't have it.
Yeah.
So much more they got to worry about.
Yeah.
You know,
And also-
bunnies about their kids.
Also, there's the phrase, fucking like rabbits,
Yeah.
and adults know about all this stuff. Kids do not,
Yeah.
so
Some-
they feel like pre-shamed to like, you know what I mean? It's like,
They've heard their
I
parents.
already don't want to go there.
They've heard their parents.
Yeah, of course. And especially these days, I mean, kids have phones at what age? Like 11, 12 or
I
something?
know.
5, 4.
dude.
I mean, the history, everything, every video that's ever been made in the porn world is on this little device right here.
Yeah.
Do you think kids are not getting curious about that shit? Man.
Yeah, kids are more into porn than most people.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, let me learn about this.
They know how to get past that parental
Mm.
blockage shit.
Yeah, you just say, yes, I'm over 18. What's the problem?
I'm 5.
That's pretty crazy, man. That's nuts. That's crazy. Yeah, another reason why I like your stuff is because like I feel your energy through it, and to me, like I knew that it was like I didn't know you had that whole graffiti and bombing background, but in the way you get up and the walls you get, right, and how many of them your prolific side. I mean, that to me reminds me of like that graffiti feeling of I'm just gonna get up, leave my styles on to the next one.
Yeah, for
You know?
sure. No, totally.
That's
And
rare. That's special.
yeah, that's what it taught me was
Yeah.
that, put it everywhere and looking for spots in the right way. Like
Right.
that spot is good.
Always
that's a
good spots
spot.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, a lot of times in Venice these days, people just holler at me to paint shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
I don't roll on as many. I mean, every now and then with the alleyways, I
Right.
will, because I'll be honest with you. I don't whether it's a compulsion or not. The cure for my anxiety is to paint.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if
yeah.
there's like a day when I'm like feeling
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, like I got to roll on a wall,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if there's
it
nothing,
feels so good. I'm the
if
same
I
way.
can't like fix anything up
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
legally,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm gonna roll on a wall, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just have to look for something that is like
I feel you.
least possible damages.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. No, it's so because people think, well, what does that mean? But I know exactly what you're saying because when you get, it's a whole ceremony. Actually, you get there, you got your paint, the sun's shining, it's California.
God.
You're applying color, which is there's energy
So
in color.
cool.
You put it down. Some people walk by. You get like, hey, that's great, man, type of stuff. So
Yeah,
you're being
yeah.
energized by the world. It's not the painting. And the painting itself is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, add some orange, man. So the whole thing, like also me, when I don't paint for a week or something, I'll feel like the depression kick in a little bit.
Yeah,
You know?
I can't go a week, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
hard.
release, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of art, like
Yeah.
him as knee release, whether it's talking or visual or spiritual.
And creating,
A lot of people hold
Yeah.
so much stuff in
Yeah.
That's where I get anxiety too, and I realize like it's from holding stuff in.
Yeah.
So how do you release it?
And ruminating on it. And for you, it's jujitsu, you know?
Or some people take pills. Some
Yeah.
people walk. Some people do yoga. Some
Yeah.
people do
Yeah,
all
I
the
got to do a
above.
lot of shit. Yeah, I got to do a lot.
Yeah, I got a few things I have.
Yeah.
To check
Yeah.
on my list.
But yeah, it's just so energizing because even those few people that stop to say hi or a lot or this or that, like to them, it's just a small thing. But for us, it's like, man, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Here.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I
feels
mean?
right.
Yeah.
It does. It
I'm
feels like
contributing.
being a part of society.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, that's why it's like when I have that feeling, I can't just go in the studio and paint.
Yeah,
It's not the same. There's
not.
times when I feel like I want to go in the studio and paint.
Right.
It's a different vibe. Like I'm
Right.
like, it's 3 a.m. I want to just sit up, hold in the studio by myself, listen to music and paint. And then there's times when I'm like, it's beautiful. I want to be out with my people. I want to
Yeah,
make stuff.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to do something, you know?
Yeah.
And when I can't, when it's not working out,
yeah.
I'm freaking in tears, man.
Yeah.
I'm having a panic attack.
Yeah.
I'm calling people like, I can't take it. I don't. And this is me driving, like, cause you know, I do these cross country drives where I have nothing mapped
You do
out.
them a lot, I think. Yeah?
I do them a
like
lot.
twice a
Done a
year or
few of 'em.
something.
Something I don't even know.
Like this
I
past
just-
year,
it's
to
been
2018,
great.
you did a couple.
I did a
like,
bunch,
back and
yeah.
forth. I think you did.
Amazing.
Yeah, 18 was a lot.
That's
I was all
bananas,
over
man.
the place.
And it's just you and I think your best friend, right?
Well, no, like Dada comes, my dog,
Right.
and now my boyfriend's been coming.
Okay,
Now I
good.
got a dude in tow. He started rolling with me like last year.
That's where you
Kyle.
find out the truth.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't really he has nothing to do with my craziness.
Yeah.
It's
Is he-
so weird. He's like I'm so glad that I found a dude that's not involved at all in my scene.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an Instagram.
Yeah.
He doesn't fuck with
That's a
anything.
good look these
You
days,
know,
yeah.
like he just
like that.
like, he's just ground control. You know, he's
Right.
totally ground control.
His own world.
Yeah. And I'm like out here like, fuck, I gotta fight for the ball. You know? Like,
But that's cool. That's the life, man. Like,
Yeah.
I still haven't done cross country. It's still on my little bucket list.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You know? And just a
Yeah.
trunk full of paint, and bam, make stops, and just whatever. Let me paint something. Let me
it
give
really
you a gift. here,
like
you
it
know?
totally like opened my mind and heart to like what's real, because like we hear so much about the negativity,
Right.
and like the first few times I did it, like be honest with you, like I had no money
Yeah.
and I coasted.
Yeah.
Not a hiccup.
Yeah.
People giving me houses, full houses to stay in.
Yeah.
Like I got an empty house over here. I mean, the first time I roll into Art Basel and there's not a freaking motel room available,
Yeah.
and I get an apartment. Oh, we're doing renovations. You can use it. Never met this woman before in my
Unbelievable.
life.
And how would they meet you? Like,
Like through
online
people,
or in the street or something?
Sometimes it's usually through other people,
Right.
but the online thing helps now also.
Right.
Because I think with my Instagram, like I put a lot of content on.
You do, yeah.
I pretty much open up my whole life.
Right.
So when people see me, they think they feel like they know me,
they get
because
a
I'm
good
pretty
sense of
much
who you are,
I'm pretty open about it. I'm like, you know
Right.
where I am, you know what I did every day
Right.
for the last few years.
Yeah.
So like then they're like, yeah, come in my house, do this. But for a while, I mean, a lot of it's also just people making calls.
Right.
Like God bless those people.
Right.
Because there's some people that just decide to go out of their way and call people and be
Right.
like, I know people in that city.
Yeah.
Let me hit them up.
Yeah. Because
And,
for them, it's also fun. Then they get to be a little bit closer to get a taste of your world.
Yeah.
They can help you out, facilitate something, and then they get to meet you too. you
And
know?
it brings them in touch with people too. Like
Right.
it's just about connecting people, because
Right.
you got all these people that start talking to each other,
Right.
and then there's more talking going on, and then maybe they stay in
Yeah,
touch, and
yeah.
then like a whole nother thing happens.
Yeah,
So-
and the bigger cities get a lot of like action now these days with like wall programs and
Oh
festivals.
yeah, there's a
and
lot
also-
of programs too.
But there's a lot of smaller or mid-sized cities that are slowly trying to do it, but it's
Yeah.
still like a grassroots thing, to where it's like a couple of cool people there that want to facilitate and want
Yeah.
to get a piece. you
Well,
know, in their
they
city.
definitely appreciate it more.
Right.
You know, like I love rolling into towns that
Right.
don't have graph
Yeah.
and don't have murals.
Right.
And they the ones that like you get these letters like for a year later, like
Yeah,
I saw your mural, it changed my whole day.
Yeah.
Like that's cool,
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
to be able to have that kind of impact.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
it's being from LA and also before that from New York, like we forget, but like because we just live here, but like for some reason that adds value to your person, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're from LA. I want to go there one day, type of thing.
yeah.
So then when you show up to these smaller cities, like there's open arms. You know, they want to buy you dinner. They want to give you a wall. They want to get to know you. They want to do all these things. This
Yeah.
is their chance to have a friend in LA, maybe, you know?
Yeah, no, totally.
to
It's
welcome
that. Yeah.
someone.
I mean, I've also had people be like, you LA bitch. And
Yeah?
like, there's a lot of, like, LA has a bad rap in a lot of towns.
Yeah.
And especially towns that are on the cusp of gentrification.
Ah.
I've gotten some hate, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I've had them make comic strips about me.
No shit.
Like, yeah, about me.
Like in a newspaper or something?
In their little fanzines and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's hurtful because it's my people. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, fool. Like, I am you. I am you. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like along the lines of like, you're coming in here, like just fucking shit up for the locals and shit?
Yeah, you're, you know, there's all different things, but like a lot of it is a fear that things were changing.
Right.
And I'm a catalyst for change.
Right.
Like what happened in Venice, like there's some people that are still so asinine that they blame the art.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like,
I got those
dude,
emails too.
There's a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Go right on their wall.
Yeah.
They blame
Yeah,
the art.
I'm like
Wow.
double-sided on it because, you know, I guess now I first started painting it 20 years ago. So after a while, you know a lot of the property owners and the management companies and all that sort of stuff. But I also know the more innocent side to it where, you know, it's this guy's dad who bought some property in 58 and 62 when it was really, you know, it was not what it is now. And they purposely sat on it. The guy risked all his savings, you know, and now this property is worth $2.5 million. What are you gonna do? You know, are you not gonna sell? You know, and are you gonna hang on to it? You know, so but then I also know the tenants, and the tenants like, man, we're getting booted out. This is my workspace. I live here.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like a weird, like the coin could be understood from both sides. And so I still don't really know because how far can you go back? You know, this was Mexico once. You know, are they still going to cry about, hey, man, now it's California. That was Mexico. You know, we got to get it. You know, like where does it end? You know, is it generationally bound? And should that be the consideration?
I mean, I don't
know. You know, it's difficult
believe in
gentrification.
localism. I like respecting history and
I do
remembering
too.
traditions, but like this invisible lines don't mean anything to me.
Right.
You know, I've never been from anywhere. Like if I go to the place where I was born, I hell of am not from there.
Right.
Like
exactly.
Stoke-on-Trent, England,
Yeah.
I stick out
Stoke
like a
on
sore
Trent, man.
thumb.
Wow, that's
yeah.
posh, pinky out.
Yeah. That's the potteries, man. Yeah. That's like the Midlands, like an hour north of Manchester. And I do not look or sound or anything. Like, so you can't be like, go to where you've been.
And we know very well because yesterday my friend Regan Jackson was here, born and raised in Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was just here yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
So we have the full contrast how exactly you are not from Manchester. You know
I know,
mean?
right? I mean, I love it there, no doubt. And I just went back last summer for the first time in 15 years, and I had a really great time. And I love painting for them. And they were cool, but I'm not. Let's just be real. Like, I'm not from there. And so when people are like, go back to where you're from, I'm like, dude, tell me where that is. Like, they wrote it on one of my Venice walls recently.
No shit.
Go home, bitch.
What?
And I'm like, where is home? And then they also wrote my home address because they do that too.
Oh, yeah?
They've done
on
weird,
a threat level?
Oh, they do threat. They
Who's
fake
doing this? I've
V13'd me.
never heard of this.
There's different things.
No, it's not.
It is. It's some Snapchatters.
Oh, they think you're in alignment with Snapchat and shit?
No, I don't know what it is, dude. It's like some little testosterone pumped little kids or something. I don't know what it is.
Just fucking with you.
Yeah.
But it's happened to me in other cities too.
Yeah.
And like a lot of it's like they do that thing like you're from LA. I'm like, I'm not even from LA, dude. And when I'm in LA, they tell me to go home. So what are you talking about?
I started telling people I'm from Earth just to fuck.
Yeah, thank you, right?
That's a good one, yeah.
From Earth.
And
yeah, this is so good.
Yeah, we're all ours.
I have a
Invisible
friend.
lines you're talking about. I don't
I have a
recognize
friend
that shit.
from back home, and he's like, when they ask him, so where are you from? I am from other planet.
Yeah.
Shouts to Marian. I know you're going to be listening to this. Love you, man.
Shout out, hubby. I feel you.
You know, so yeah, things get weird, you know. And it is weird because we have been used by a lot of development companies. And I've been, unbeknownst to me, been part of some of that stuff indirectly a lot. Where, you know, you get an area like even this right now, you know, where technically South LA, South Central adjacent, or maybe this is the beginning or whatever. There's a bunch of warehouses around here. And, you know, you can still buy property here and not get fucked completely up the ass.
Right now.
Right? So West Adams is already going through it. You know, they're already like positioning that as like the next sort of like Silver Lake kind of thing. coffee shops, galleries. There's like 10 galleries on West Adams right now.
Yeah.
And then slowly, like the property gets sold. There's a little coffee shop, couple of beards, hipsters showing up, artists. Looks good, right? That's the cool shit.
Yeah.
And so let that bubble for a couple of years, hang on to your property. Then you get the first like American Apparel or something to pop up, and then property value goes up. And then all the artists that made the community interesting, like Williamsburg, it's the same shit. Then they get booted out. And that's what happened to Venice, and all these other places that we often paint in and stuff.
I mean,
they make it interesting, and then they sell it times maximum,
Right.
And it's a trick. That's gentrification.
Yeah, I get it, but I think gentrification is also the homogenization of the culture. Like when it becomes boring,
right.
Like when they're bringing in the same stores that they have at the, that Santa Monica promenade, and then they put it on Abbot Kinney, and I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, bring in the high-priced one-off designer hand knit sweaters and whatever. At least keep it. I don't believe that's gentrification because it's not gentrified. It's like something different, individual art.
Right.
It might be a little bit higher at an economic standpoint, but like the other thing about that, which I don't understand, for me has been that I have a higher income in Venice than when I got there.
Right.
Like I said, I lived in my car when I got there.
Yeah.
Now I have a house.
Yeah.
Like I make a lot of the money that I make in my own neighborhood. I walk to work holding a basket of paint. Sometimes I don't even have to drive.
Yeah.
And that's because as much as I would paint for the gangsters just to keep everything cool, they were not paying.
Yeah, exactly.
The people that were there were not paying for art, and I still will paint for old school Venetians because I feel I'm not even from there, but I want to connect and I want to be a part of it, and I will do it, and I'll go paint their stuff no doubt. But the people that came in with the money, in a lot of ways, can keep the art there too if they can afford to give the artist the money.
Right.
And then the artist's job is to come through and connect and make, we pull it all together. And there's people that are middlemen that help with that.
Mm-hmm.
And if it all clicks up, it should work. But, we just there's a lot of shuffling that goes on. And I know like a lot of my friends left. And like I said, I've been helping facilitate artists moving back in.
Right.
And it's a lot of trickiness, and it's catching things. And, I've helped a few of my friends find places for $1,000 in Venice.
That's unheard of.
And if you're on it, like you're on it and you do it and you get it done quick, and there's been times when I've been like, I'll give you the money, get this freaking place and pay me back. Cause you need to go now. We need to move on this. And that's the thing. You communicate with your community and that's how you work a system, communication.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause these days, like, man, one bedroom starts at like 3 over there or something.
Yeah, some of them are crazy. I know. I mean, believe me. There's times when I'm like, this sucks that I'm in my 40s and I have to live in a rabbit hutch.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful for my rabbit hutch.
Right. Yeah.
Because my house is a tiny little beach cottage. I'm so grateful that I have it. But like, dude, anywhere else in America, I feel like I would be living in an actual home.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. With like, I could go like this.
Yeah. With the tennis court.
Yeah, with some shit.
That just leads into like so many conversations about like equal opportunity, equal, disbursement of funds. And it's not really, in my opinion, it's more than just gentrification. It's like, everyone having the same opportunities to afford the same things. We all should be. It shouldn't be just, a color or white or black or old school this, new school that. Like everyone should have the opportunity to have a home and the opportunity to walk down Abbot Kinney and buy, whether it's a $10 coffee or a 10 cents coffee. Problem is the playing field is just not equal, and that's a whole different story.
Well, it's specifically crazy when I guess it started with Google on Main Street, the building with the binoculars. I think all of a sudden there was 1,200 employees that moved in there. Then Snap, they actually
bought some old school.
Oh, Snap ruffled some feathers, dude.
All of Market Street.
People
like
got
everywhere.
so pissed. Yeah.
Man.
When they got the Venice Freak Show out, That was like, wow.
Yeah. The protests on market and stuff. Yeah, and then they like took over entire like complexes on Marina del Rey.
Really?
You know, just they need housing for 800 employees. You know, they're buying up all these buildings, which is kind of smart. And then Twitter is on Santa Monica, on Main,
I didn't
Main
know
and
they
Pico.
were over there too.
What?
I didn't know Twitter was in town. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I heard about Snapchat because there's all these anti-Snap stickers all over Venice now and things like that.
Yeah, I painted the Twitter offices. Pico and Main Street.
Gentrifier.
No, I posted. I took a meeting. I took a meeting with Snap before I did something with them, and all of a sudden, all this outrage on my Instagram. And I'm like, man, I'm the wrong motherfucker to start this shit with. And that's when I still had the mentality of I should like really like respond, you know, with my thinking. So I respond with like this, you know, like an 8-inch long response. Wink, wink. I didn't mean that in any other way. And then I'm just laying out like what my thinking is, what I've contributed to that neighborhood, you know, how I consider that neighborhood. And just like, yo, like, you know, they're here now. And I know there's problems there, but the bottom line is like the amount of work I've painted in Venice for free, you know. And if they want to fuel my tank a little bit, so I can keep doing that, which is always the motto anyway.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, it's a really like there's no like cut and dry way to do it, but like you gotta play ball to like stay on the field.
Of course,
you can't just be like. That's the thing, unless you want to leave. Like I would, I'll go live in like a cabin somewhere and paint some paintings that, you know, I don't have to push. And
some of these corporations could give back to, you know. It's not, and it's not just about taking it. And it's not their responsibility to make it right. But I personally am not going into your home if you invite me in without bringing, you know, a dish. If you know what I mean.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I mentioned it on this podcast before. I think it was with Stefan. You know, I you know, we had the Medicis in Italy. We had the church responsible for the greatest commissions of the greatest works of art that we know to this day. And I think now it should be corporations.
It should, and they do. I think a lot of them do. Maybe we should examine which ones do. But I know that Google definitely bought a lot of local stuff.
They got one of my paintings in their collection.
Yeah. I mean, I did their patio furniture. They had me do some other stuff for them, and
Bumblebees got a little mural in there. You know, a lot of other people got bought.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about singular purchases. I'm talking about like patronage. That's where my thinking is. I want to try what I can to really move into that realm, you know, because it's cute to buy something for the office, whatever, it becomes part of corporate assets. It's cool to use someone for, let's say, an activation or like a marketing campaign. And even when well negotiated, that's really nice to get one of those a year or something like that.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion for Google and all of them. In Venice, you should have like created like a bathhouse for the homeless. Something like that.
Something where they could take a bath.
A bathhouse?
Yeah.
Where's your mind at, my friend?
No, I'm saying let them come in. And
but that's true. Just a shower. Oh, like that. Yeah.
That's what I mean by like giving back to a community.
I see.
You come in, you suck the culture out of it, and go, "Oh, this is cool." You know, they have art. They have people on rollerblades with guitars. We want to be a part of this. Yeah. And we'll hire a couple of them, but. You would have had way more respect if you did that. Because look, capitalism and commerce, that's American. You can't stop that. Right?
Yeah.
And it's a good thing in the end. But
at the end of the day,
there should be some pointers towards solution. Yeah. There's a lot of money that these
with the homeless, there's so much kickback because a lot of people are like, don't encourage them. Don't do this. There's so much weirdness. I think like in Venice, especially because we're such a community, we're a town. Like I feel like it's a town. It needs to be on an individual basis too, of people being like, yo, come in and use my shower. Like I had a family use my shower this week, you know, like 2 people, like a whole family, another person. People need to like, don't wait for the corporations. Like they'll be like, come through.
Don't wait.
You know?
Yeah, and I relate to what you're saying because when you paint in the street, you know, that homeless guy that normally you walk past.
You end up hanging out with them.
You end up hanging out with them. I have so many stories like you too, like helping people out, you know, like.
And they help
connecting
you out too,
shit for
like,
them. And of course they help you out.
They're like, you could do this over here. I know about this thing here. Talk to this guy.
Even just with their presence and their stories about like, you know, the state of humanity on their level. I've been taught by masters, man, on the street. Like, whoa, I had no idea. So that's definitely good. But like Sean said, I mean, you know, how much money does a corporation have to make, you know?
I'm
once
hoping
again,
that
I agree.
That.
It's a community should take care of a community. But if you're going to just impose yourself on a community because you can. Because at the end of the day,
you got money.
You have money.
Right.
Then at least have the decency to go, hey, you know what? I see that this community can use my help.
Right.
I am here. I am making a transition, whether I want to admit it or not. Some people are losing their homes. You can pretend like it's not happening, and you can not care. Because most people who are on the top, they don't look down, they just look up.
Right.
Then just do something like a bathhouse or a mental health facility. They're like, hey, we built this facility where you guys could come and like try to work some shit
or
out.
at least work with the local political powers that be to facilitate something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be doing that more.
Yeah.
You're feeding
Because LA's out of control. On any given night, there's 20,000 homeless people, which is bananas.
Yeah, there's.
in
I mean,
LA
this
County.
is honestly the place to be if you're going to be homeless.
Yeah.
I'd say they get more. Snapchat, for example, would have got more respect, and I'll get off the subject, but they would have got more respect how they came in and instead of taking from the community,
It was pretty forceful, yeah.
they
I
gave
did notice
back.
that.
People
Yeah,
would have been
they
like,
gave.
To say
"Yo,
the
you
least,
know,
yeah.
you guys took some stuff. That's great, but you also did this, and
Right.
we noticed without you having to say it,
Right.
you can't really argue against that,
Right.
You know? You can only argue if someone's just buying up shit and
Yeah,
you know what? Oh, that was Nikki's bar or this art, and now we bought it so we can just have like an electronic Wi-Fi shop for our car.
Or whatever, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right,
I know
then
people that
hire the
sold
homeless.
property to them, and they're like, "Look, this is the payoff my family's been waiting for."
Oh no,
So
no.
it's all very difficult to maneuver, you know.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's difficult.
Well, there's
stuff.
got to be like something where somebody funds some of these public things because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could happen with a little bit of facilitation and someone taking the time.
Right.
And I think there's people that want to give the time, they don't have the money, and the people who have the money don't have the time.
Right.
If you
And
give 20% of the jobs to the people in the community,
Yeah. But
that type of shit.
that's also very good. But there's a lot of people that are not ready to take a job either. You know what I mean?
Not ready, but there's a lot of people that need
Yeah.
and will.
Yeah.
And we have all this lobbying for jobs and
Right.
building your community and council meetings. Cool. Snapchat's moving in. We vote. Obviously, the community voted or trying to
Right.
vote.
At
them
least
out.
at some level, yeah.
Just go, you know what? That's cool. Why don't you give these people some jobs so they can afford these homes that just went up now?
Right.
And
Yeah.
we'll call it somewhat
Yeah.
even.
Did you ever meet Arthur Moore on the boardwalk?
oh, Artie, I have a painting of Artie.
I have two paintings of Artie.
I have a painting that's
my
a
man.
triptych of him giving the finger.
The finger, that's
yeah.
a bird. Yeah, the bird
Yeah,
paintings. Yeah. He's the best, man.
He
He's the
was
best.
cool. Is
He's
he
the-
still around?
Like that building there, where is it again? Wavecrest or something, right on the boardwalk. I painted that like twice, so I got to know him very well.
Oh,
I was there
cool.
like 2 months every day, and I haven't seen him, man. I was on the boardwalk a couple of days ago. I
Yeah.
haven't seen him, but talk about a salesman. Google Arthur Moore. There was a producer that went to Virginia or something, gave a talk about Artie and his sales
Really?
capacity.
Damn.
Did a small doc on it, presented it in front of a university.
Oh, wow.
Everyone like standing ovation for Artie.
Wow, that's so cool.
Because he's a sales guy,
That's so funny.
the best guy. Last time I saw him, he got new teeth. 'Cause
Oh, cool.
he didn't have teeth for like many
Nice.
years. And so he's talking, I'm like, with the teeth.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
Artie,
he
what's
wasn't
going on? He's
used
like,
to
they're
them.
too big.
That's so funny.
I'm not used to them.
Yeah.
I love Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some characters there, man. I mean, that's what makes it so interesting. They got to hold on to those people. Like,
Yeah, that's the flavor, man. That's the pepper.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's your city until someone wants you to pay for something.
Yeah.
It's your city. Show me a bill. Show me a receipt.
Yeah. So yeah, what's up? What's up next, young Jules?
I've been trying to, like I said, I love Venice so much. I've been trying to stay put, but I know that it's pulling on me to go do another cross country run. And one of my favorite artists in the world is in Florida right now.
Who's that?
MTO.
MTO.
Yeah, he's like, they call him like the French Banksy.
Okay.
He's
MTO,
very
MTO.
like, he's never been photographed. He does
No
sick,
shit.
political, beautiful
Yeah.
murals. He does really cool shit.
I gotta check
And
him
he
out.
just told
MTO.
me,
Just MTO. Three letters? I don't
yeah,
know.
he's got a bunch of controversy around him too.
Yeah.
There's a whole film about what happened in
Weird.
Florida.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because he'll paint for people and they won't even know that he's basically telling them what's up and wrong with
Right.
their community because they
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
even
yeah, yeah.
understand the mural. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
He's done some very cool shit.
So he's
But,
out there and he's a
yeah,
friend.
and he's staying with my friend. So, and I love her, and I was like, I want to go see them, and I want to just, like this is really cool that we get to talk. I'll be honest with you guys, like I don't get to talk to artists much. I work a lot, And the people that I work with people that love art, which is really cool. But I don't get to like freaking connect with artists, you know? And and I miss that. And like, you know, a lot of it's because like I'm freaking tired after work. I'm not trying to go out to a show. Yeah. And even when you go to an art show, like how many times do you actually have a good conversation?
I relate to that too. Like the day is so long, and then, you know, it's always in downtown or somewhere, you know, and then you gotta, you know, go over there, and it's like half the time I don't feel like doing it, because when you go to like a lot of shows, no one's even looking at the artwork anymore.
Yeah.
They're just seeing who's in the room, and that's that. And I was seen there or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to go to art shows
awkward.
a lot more though. You know,
Well, you
I used to
guys
go
came
to every
from
art show in town.
You guys paid your dues. You came from an era, you know, where you were bombing in New York.
That
Come
doesn't
on.
make me not a social anxiety freak.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, now it's like it's easier to like. Back then, it was you know, Instagram. You guys had to actually go out and put up your posts.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy,
No,
man.
but I mean, I connect with a lot of people, on the internet, and like, I text with so many people. I have so many messages. I love that. That is a lifeline.
A little bit.
But dude, it's nice to actually go and hang out with people and connect with. Like, I like going to New York because last time I went to New York, I stayed with do you know Carolina Falkholt? Who did
the giant dick, yeah.
So she was on her.
I was talking to her. She was going to do mine next.
Oh, yeah? She's still doing it? That's crazy. That's so funny.
No, she did a blue one and a red one, yeah?
Yeah, I was talking to her.
Sick.
That's
in
my,
Soho.
you know, that's
she painted
my,
an
she's
8-story dick in fucking Soho.
I was talking to her the morning she was about to do it. And she's like, my parents are flying in today. It was Christmas. And I was like, and she's like, but I just got the lift in the wall. I was like, just go start it. She started it and she called it No Time for Balls because she had to go pick up her parents. It was Christmas.
And literally there was no balls on it. But I'm talking a very realistic like portrait
shaft,
of a dick.
And then nothing. Wow, the feedback was insane.
It was bananas. That shit went viral.
So that girl is one of my favorite people. Yeah. We've been bombing together since we were little.
No shit.
Teenagers in New York.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Wow.
And then after 9/11, she left. She was like, I'm out of here. Fuck this shit.
She's originally from Germany or some shit?
Sweden. So then I went to Sweden to try to be like, what are you doing? You need to come pay.
Come back.
She was pregnant.
No
and I was
way.
like, what are you doing to me?
I made you.
And then I didn't see her for like 15 years. And then I went to Basel, which is why I love Basel. And
it is fun to see everyone
connected.
I like that
Reconnected.
too. Basel,
so then when I was in New York last, I stayed with her and I had so much fun. It was like we were teenagers again.
Yeah.
It was like a year ago. I stayed there like this time last year. It was so great. Yeah. I was just like,
you guys go bombing?
We went we went to trains, dude. Like, it was crazy. It was fun. I was like a 3-year-old, like running around New York, like bombing the streets in New York City. I'm doing my name, even though I said I don't do that. But I was like, bubble letter box, what's up? You know? Just
there's something about that it'll always be fun, you know?
Yeah, it's a whole nother high. It is cool.
Is the culture like that now? Like from when you guys were doing that, like, you know, 90s, 2000, out bombing trains? Like, is that how it's still happening right now, you think, with this generation?
Like, there's a lot of people still getting up. I know a lot of, like, the train riders back home, they only do trains. Everything else is disrespectable to them.
Yeah. There's people that get in there.
You know, like, America's very strict with this stuff, you know? So that's why, and there's still a lot of people, you know, doing stuff here too. But I feel like other countries, like, there's not, the repercussions aren't as bad.
Well, I mean, like in the 90s, there was more like, you know, Italian crews.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's a little bit less
now. They still have crews, though.
There's a lot of crews, but
you know,
it doesn't,
like party crews.
It's hard for me to say because I'm not that involved in that part.
Me neither.
You know, and the people that I know are so from the old school that they just talk shit about everything. Like, this is all bullshit. What is this crap?
You ain't even got no hand styles.
Yeah.
His line wasn't straight.
Look at those R's. Those are bullshit R's.
You need more orange. No.
I started that style.
Totally. There's all that. I know whose K that is.
Exactly. But that's fun also, you know, because everyone's married now, children, getting fat,
it's hilarious.
TV dinners.
You know what was the best? Back when 5 Points was still around, they used to have Old Timers Day. And that was the really old school guys. Like these dudes that painted in the 70s on the trains. And they're out there with their legs. They're so bad.
They got a hernia. With my ulcer. I would do a double outline, but I got an ulcer.
Because the shit that you saw in that book somewhere, like those freaking spray paint.
Yeah, the OG tattoo guys.
Yeah. And there's other guys making comebacks too, I feel. Like they were like retired for the last 15 years, but like, wait, maybe this is interesting now again. And they start painting again. But sometimes it gets a little frustrating for them because there's not that big welcome that they expected. You know what I mean?
It's about like, I think...
Because this generation doesn't really know who was who back then, you know?
Well, there's that, the people who don't do the history and don't know. And then there's also the fact that, sorry, Instagram likes don't equal dollar signs.
Right, exactly.
And like people have a misconception about that.
Right.
That they think they're going to come back and like attach a tag on a canvas. And because they are known for this thing from the 70s, that it's going to be like money. And it's just not. It's a whole nother hustle, you know? It's a whole nother trick.
Yeah, that's tricky, yeah. It is really tricky. And I have a feeling we employ, nice word, the same technique, which is always be painting, always be producing.
Yeah.
When they ask you, in most cases, you got to charge them. But when you ask, you'll do it for free.
Pretty much.
Is that your technique?
My technique is if I...
That's my technique.
Yeah, I mean, if it's public and I can do whatever I want,
Right.
And pretty much that. I mean, a lot of it's like instinctual at this point. Like I'll just get a number in my head.
You know.
But then I'll be honest with you, so many people hit me up that if I think back, I'm like, whatever happened to that? Like, I must have said the wrong number. I don't know, because I never heard from them again.
Yeah.
And that happens, like, I just get hit up so much now that, like, I don't dwell on it. And
you just give a number over DM, or you like put like a quote together and like all that sort of stuff, or you just say
that. I just say, what about blah blah blah? Tell me if you could do it, or hit me back. Some people I'll be like, what do you want to spend? Because I'm like, this is bullshit. You're not gonna give me any, you know. And
you
then
sense it already.
I'm like, I don't know. It's a weird thing that whole thing is really weird, and I have strange experiences because once you have started working, when you work with someone who hooks you up, then everybody pales in comparison.
Right, exactly.
You're like, once you get somebody
who
like
worth,
really
like,
takes care of you, you're like, just think about that after everyone else.
Yeah, but
sometimes, I still want to paint.
But sometimes it's not possible to replicate that with that specific next person or client or whatever it is.
No, you know? Not everybody has money.
You can't always be flown first class to fucking Tokyo or some shit. You know, that's like, wow, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But then when you give those same rates or numbers to the next one, it's like, wait, what? I thought you just like to paint, you know? Like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's a weird one too.
It's so tricky that navigating that world. I mean, because first of all, I really do want to paint. I want to fucking paint. But the other thing that makes it suck is when you tell me what to paint.
Yeah.
You know, and then that, like, the only way you're going to make that not suck for me is like, put money on that. Put money.
No, it's true. It's true.
Like, because not just that the money, it's that the money will then afford me the ability to go paint the wall that I can do whatever I want on.
Right,
for the person who doesn't have money to pay for paint even.
Exactly.
So
fair exchange is not right.
And that's a beautiful thing. And that's something I want to retouch on one more time because, you know, there's some killers that even moved to this town, you know, one of our favorites. And I'm like, what, you've been living here for how long? I don't see any walls. They're like, no, I'm so busy with project, this and that. And there's a lot of people that only paint for money.
Yeah.
Which to me, I understand it, but it's also a little bit ugly to me, you know, because the idea is that you're supposed to paint and love to paint and get out there.
Well, what do they do when they're not painting? Did they just have that much work?
I think there's a lot of people that paint just enough walls outside to where then there's an interest in their studio work.
Yeah.
And then it evaluates their studio work. And then, you know, they do their couple of big things. And then they're in the studio painting stuff. And because they painted the right amount of stuff outside.
Yeah.
Then the canvases, you know, are in demand. And then there's value to the canvases. I have a lot of suspicions about a lot of
There's a lot of weird
like
stuff with canvases. Yeah. Like I've heard so many strange theories and I had a very disheartening interaction last week with an art dealer who I have no proof that's a dealer, who I don't know his last name, who I definitely witnessed to be smoking a lot of weed, like before he did this.
Shouts out to weed.
Yeah. But like, okay, so he supposedly is a dealer and like he came by my storage, which I should not have shown him. I thought about that afterwards.
He's like, I gotta
but
move
he was
my
just
shit
like,
now.
Why not?
Well,
because
he was like,
present.
you have so much stuff that your things are basically worthless.
What?
Like,
what a
that
prick.
was the amount of work that I had negated the
Value.
Oh,
which I was
there's-
like, but
there's-
you only know how many pieces I have because I showed you.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so
And so he said you can't get rid of this, or
well,
but maybe
he was telling me to sell really low.
yeah.
He was telling me to sell because I was telling him my price points on things, which I basically
Right.
just try to stick to what I've already been charging people, so
Right.
I'm not screwing people that paid
Of
me.
course, yeah.
You know,
'Cause that always sucks.
That was my main guideline. Is like,
Right.
I don't want this person who paid me to then feel stupid.
Right,
Those are the people that are helping me out. So
Right.
yeah, the next person should pay the same thing.
right, exactly.
And in a degree, you know, I can do free stuff like if I'm doing it on the street, yeah, but I
Right.
don't need to knock somebody who's
Right.
investing in me. And that's how I try to uphold it was the canvases. But yeah, I had that interaction with someone because I do have, look, I've been painting for a long freaking time. So
Right.
I have a few pieces from each of my collections
For
that are
yourself.
just still there.
Yeah, that's
And,
early advice I got too. To save something from every era in your as you move forward. You
Yeah,
know?
that's what I was told. I was told
Yeah.
that from the beginning. And you know, yeah, he treated it as like we need to liquidate this. And I was just like,
And he's like, I know a swap meet on Slauson.
yeah, pretty much, dude. Like I was like,
No, that's not cool.
yeah. So it totally sent me into a weird depression. Like I was depressed for a few days
Because you're sensitive, man.
I'm
You're an
fucking
artist.
so sensitive.
It's not nice. these
So like
people.
it made me feel like really rejected. Like
Yeah.
because you show someone, it's like basically you take off your clothes and someone's like, I'm not down.
Yeah.
Like,
That
that's
nipple's
what
too
it
long. I'm
felt
outta
like.
here.
Like you gotta go. And,
Yeah. It
and
really
I was just
sucks,
like,
man.
Why did I show him that shit?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Right.
And I'm just kicking myself for like a few days. Like this is fucking embarrassing. And I got worried. And I'll tell you, like, because I brought it up when you talked about these artists that have transferred it into making money. Because I worry about, and I know this is projecting, but when I'm old, because this fucking work that we do is hard.
Yeah.
Core, like
Yeah.
that's some physical labor.
It is, yeah.
I'm climbing up a ladder. I'm climbing up a
Yeah.
scaffold. Even if I have a lift, it's like
Oh yeah.
it's hard work. And I think about that and I'm like, I got no retirement fund.
Right.
I have no health insurance. I don't believe the government will take care of me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, what am I looking at in the future?
Yeah.
If I can't paint murals, I can't make a living.
Yeah.
And in that case, like I would like to at some point, you know, set a nice standard for the canvas
Right.
so that basically my storage facility becomes my bank, my savings, my retirement fund,
Yeah.
you know, and I
Yeah.
slowly could sell a piece, you know,
Right.
to like freaking feed myself for a month when I'm an older person, if
Right.
that ever happens,
Yeah,
like if I
yeah.
get to that
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
God
No,
willing.
these are concerns, you know.
Yeah.
Not only that, that's happening on that side, and then on the other side, there's the new guard that shows up every half a year. There's that kid that's been practicing, and all of a sudden he's the new killer, or could be the new killer, or his
Yeah,
marketing
yeah.
sense is so impeccable, but the work sucks. But he's, you know,
Oh yeah, the
all
marketers.
these things, yeah.
Yeah. Who do you know? That kind of shit.
yeah,
I know. I definitely. It's a really weird time right now with the art world, and especially with like the Instagram sensations
right,
that are making more money than some of the galleries.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
An artist said it. It's all about it's not about your talent. It's about your grind nowadays. Like it seems like in this digital world of
Uh-huh.
like business and like promoting yourself, whether it's music, art, it's like talent.
Yeah,
Talent used to be.
Yeah.
I thought talent was like a big.
Well,
thing. Now
I
it's like,
thought that
your
too.
grind.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. And what perception you can put out there, you know, that you can have people kind of like seduced by your little world of what you create, and you know what I mean. That there's some weird little trends going on, but I try not to worry about that and just
Yeah, I
because
mean,
I'm like you. I get worried about it. I get depressed. I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm a, you know,
yeah. What's
what am
gonna
I even
happen
doing
to
here?
me?
You know what I mean? What's
Who's
it all
gonna
about?
Take care of me.
You know, like, and but in the end, like, it's back to painting the wall and the joy you get
Yeah.
from that. And
All
I
right.
don't plan to be decrepit and old anytime soon.
Yeah.
So there's enough gas in the tank. you
Yeah,
know?
you're right. And I just went into a tailspin after that one interaction. Now, most of the time, I'm very just grateful to fucking even get paid to paint at all,
Yeah.
to be able to facilitate painting more,
Yeah.
you know, and to go and meet new people. And the stuff that people say, like what you said, like, I don't care if it means nothing to them, but when someone's like, you're amazing, like,
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yay,
Yeah.
yay.
Oh,
they
I'll
like
run with
me.
that. You know, yeah. It's gas.
Yeah,
it's
it's
gas.
great.
And even maybe they just said it because, you know, they never saw anyone paint in the street or something, and they
Yeah.
just respond. Whatever it is, like, I'll take it. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
I'll
it's
take
a
it.
nice gesture, regardless.
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Better
So
than fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but these are concerns, what does retirement look like? And then you start living into that future, and it's like, man,
I know.
what's that really gonna look like?
And you don't really know. There's no way to predict like what's
Right.
gonna happen.
I have the same concerns, and I'm a sound designer. So
Right.
Yeah.
just so you guys know, it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to eat at 60, 70.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
like
yeah,
over
yeah.
there, like, what am I gonna have for dinner in 20 years?
I'm talking about potluck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back
I'm gonna
to
hit you guys up for a potluck.
going back to top, I'll bring the top ramen, man.
Never fails.
Yeah. Well, Jules, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to this one. I'm so happy you wanted to do it.
No, totally. I'm just stoked to get to sit and talk to you guys.
Man.
I don't care if we're
your story's
recording.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
anytime.
Yeah.
And we've always been the other day I was at Darla's,
Oh yeah, you were around the block from my house.
Yeah.
So my house is the other side of that block.
and I'm looking at one of her paintings, which has never happened. I only see it in the street. I'm like, wow, dude, the way you did your hands and all this stuff and the layout, I was just tripping on it.
But that was like a street piece. That one's so big.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. Where can people find you online?
Oh, you can. I have a website, which is the old vintage way. It's julesmuck.com. And then there's like the Instagram thing, which is @muckrock. Or I used to have a business card that just said Jules Muck. Google that shit.
I like that.
Yeah.
I would have Googled it because of that.
You got to bring that back. That's a good one.
It was a sticker too.
Yeah.
It was the best business card.
That's genius.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for coming down. We love you. And bam, that's it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. That was super
Yeah.
fun.
Yoo-hoo.
Right on.
Brap.
Cool.
Nice one. So that was Jules. Hope you dug it. I know I did. And as always, you can find us on Instagram @HappyNoFear. I'm @TheArtofChase. But do me a favor here, friends. Huh? I do a lot of favors for you, don't I? Do a favor for me. Subscribe to the podcast, rate it, tell a friend so we can grow this thing together. Thanks in advance. Until next week. Bye-bye.